Baby girl, leave me, don't leave me. Baby girl, leave me, don't leave me. Please show me your true colors. Yeah. Baby girl, leave me, don't leave me. Baby girl, leave me, don't leave me. Baby girl, leave me, don't leave me. Baby girl, leave me, don't.
Yo. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Big Val Opinion, and I'm back. And this one right here is gonna be nice and sweet, short and simple. Shout out to HN News. HN News, man, they put out a great video today, man. I have a quick little video from HN News showing a Supreme Court case dealing with similar surroundings what we see in the R.Kelly case. And I took a clip from HN News video that I'm going to play of the Supreme Court giving it to the prosecutors. Man, I mean, giving it to them. I mean, y'all don't want to miss this. Y'all don't want to miss this. I'm not sure if you all follow HN News, man, they be putting out great content over there. And today's content that they put out, if y'all want to have any idea of what it looks like when a case like this goes to the Supreme Court, man, some of you, when y'all hear, what's up, Miss Ann? When y'all hear how the Supreme, now I'm telling y'all, the Supreme Court is going to make the prosecutors and federal judges, prosecutors and federal government, the Supreme Court going to make them feel like they gonna change seats with chaos. The Supreme Court going to make these prosecutors change seats with chaos. The Supreme Court going to put these prosecutors in the hot seat and let them see how it feels. The Supreme Court is going to make these prosecutors let these prosecutors see how it feels to be handled in a such way as they handle our brother Chaos. I mean, this video, great. I mean, like I said, I can't say how great this clip was. Shout out to HN News, man, because this clip that they put into this video today, it was so powerful, so understanding. Like, you have to see this. You have to see this. I mean, the Supreme Court, we talking about like how when it comes to them bringing in all these uncharged acts, you know what I'm saying? Trying to bring in a person criminal record, background, things of that nature. I mean, the Supreme Court, they don't play that shit. The Supreme Court literally told these people, we are here for the charges. We are here for the charges. Not what y'all want to assume, not what y'all think, not for a person past. We are here to see what you all have according to the charges. The Supreme, right, and they don't play. The Supreme Court don't play. So I'm gonna play a little bit of it. We got 10 people in here. Man, make sure y'all hitting the like button. I'm gonna play a little bit of the video. Sorry for the glare, but I had to record it that way because I'm at work and I'm not around the computer. If I was by my computer, I would be able to play it better for y'all. But I'm working on that part, trying to get me a laptop so I can keep with me. But look, with no more say, man, make sure y'all hitting that like button when y'all come in. But I'm gonna let y'all see, man, the Supreme Court was not playing.
Prosecution witnesses who gave inconsistent statements that kept changing, and that some of these clearly had no case against the R&B king, but were nevertheless brought to trial. Their purpose was to further depict R.Kelly as the predator that was alleged to be.
Can y'all hear? Put
Another
one in the
major
chat.
concern was that R.Kelly's trial was completely prejudicial, and the judgment was made along assumptions that R.Kelly was a bad person, with no substantial evidence to prove a case against him. In this particular case, the Supreme Court jurors are completely unhappy to note that a judgment was made along similar prejudicial lines, making us confident that the Supreme Court will find it easy to rule out the current judgment. Once this has been overturned, R.Kelly will surely be a free man again. Take a look.
Rationale for introducing the testimony of the three uncharged victims. The testimony of Young, Gunning, and Wolf, as Justice Burke found.
So, Supreme Court asking the government, what the Supreme Court asked them, what was y'all rationale for bringing in 3 uncharged acts? The Supreme Court is asking them, why did y'all bring in these uncharged acts? What was y'all person? And this is the explanation. So I'm going to play it through, and then I'll come back and play it and then break it down a little bit.
Was directly probative of defendant's state of mind. Why wasn't that accomplished with the 3 women who were complainants? I mean, that for me is the problem. You already have 3 women who give you 3 different types of stories of the horrors they experienced with him. I think you've covered that. So to pile on with 3 uncharged complainants, 3 uncharged victims, is leaning really close to that propensity line. It was relevant to defendant's intent. As Your Honor pointed out, intent was hotly contested below. I don't understand how that wasn't established through Mann. Because they had a 5-year relationship with him after the assault. Because Mann's allegations were not so unambiguous that there would have been no doubt in the juror's mind that defendant intended the forcible element of the first-degree rape. Again, when Justice Burke... You're saying that you wanted to prove what he did with Mann by introducing the testimony of those other 3 women. No, certainly not. Mann's allegations would have established, if believed, would have established the elements of the offense. Where the women were of the uncharged crimes were not the victims for which were being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molyneux? This was incredibly prejudicial testimony, no? Well, no, respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial for 2 reasons. One, the court gave extensive limiting instructions. 3 times the court explained to the jury. The fact that there's instructions doesn't mean it's not prejudicial. But here we know it wasn't. Charged with 3 rapes. And here come 3 other women who claim I did the same thing to them, but I'm not being charged with that. That's prejudicial. Well, it's not prejudicial. So the question is, does that prejudice, is that outweighed by some probative value that supersedes that? Respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial here, and we know that. Opposing counsel referred to the Molyneux rulings in this case as unprecedented. What cases do you rely on under New York law that actually constitute precedent for the court's rulings in this case on the Molyneux issues? Well, parsing the Molyneux evidence, no one would quibble with the admissibility of the uncharged offenses as to Mann. Ample case law, which I'm talking about the other 3. Right. As to Young, Gunning, and Wolf, again, I think Vargas is a perfect illustration of precisely why we were permitted to put forth the evidence here. It's well understood that Molyneux evidence can shed light on the defendant's state of mind and intent. You're really arguing that this was not overkill? I mean, there were certain items in the Sandoval that I thought, okay, that's fair game. If you, after being fired, ask an employee at the company to take computers and delete stuff, that's fair game. But some of this other stuff, let's inflame the jury's heart by telling them that he beat up his brother during a meeting. I don't see how there is a balance there on that. Well, threatening behavior, again, goes directly to demonstrating his ability to put his own self-interest at the expense of others, and that goes to the heart of honesty and integrity. The fact that there were many of these acts only indicated how defendant chose to live his life. Yes, and counsel, you know what? There are trials every day where we have defendants who have a rap sheet a mile long. A mile long. They'll have 20 felony convictions on their rap sheet. And I see no judge say, go ahead, go to town on all of them, because they don't let you go into the facts. They usually just let 1 or 2 in. I mean, there is a balance. But looking at what was let in relation to its impact on whether the jury could otherwise decide the case, not based on the fact that this is just a horrible person. That's really the balance, not what was let out. That's correct, and perhaps if this involved a case that had 100 or 150 allegations, it would present a different scenario. 30 non-convicted, and they're not convictions, not one of them, acts That's bad. Well, as you point out, the fact that they're not convictions, that they're just bad acts, if anything, makes them less prejudicial. But the fact that there were so many is only indicative of how defendants.
So what happened here is the Supreme Court is not playing with them. Supreme Court is not playing with them about these. Supreme Court is not playing with these people about these uncharged acts. Now we know now how many people testified against Kells that he wasn't charged for. How many uncharged acts did they bring to this? They had 50 people take the stand against R.Kelly. 50 people. They had 50 people take the stand against R.Kelly. 50 people. The Supreme Court is on these people. The Supreme Court is on these people about having 3 uncharged acts presented during this trial. The Supreme Court is on these people about having 3 uncharged acts presented during this trial. Also, the Supreme Court say, look, we deal with people have a rap sheet a mile long. She say, I've never seen a judge allow people to go back. Maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, but just because they have a rap sheet that's a mile long doesn't mean we can use all of this information against them. See, the Supreme Court is not finna play with Ann Donnelly, not finna play with the federal prosecutors. Y'all had 50 people testify against one man, which create a dark spot in the hearts of the jurors. Y'all did that purposely. What you see the Supreme Court telling these people is you brought these uncharged acts in to give testimony just so you can shade the heart of the witness of the jury. You want to control the emotions of the juror. So you bring in uncharged acts, which should have never even been involved into this case, is what the Supreme Court is telling this lady right here when they giving it to her. So we all know how many uncharged. They had over 40 some people that took the stand against R. Kelly that was uncharged acts. The Supreme Court is on their ass about 3 people. They had, man, look, you right, Coretta. Now the Supreme Court is on this woman ass because they brought 3 people in. They brought in 3 uncharged acts. She said the Supreme Court told her, the Supreme Court say, hey, you can't, why are you bringing 3 uncharged acts in? If what you're alleging was so bad, why aren't they a part of the case? They're not a part of the case, so it has no, those uncharged acts has no relevance to what this man is being charged for. The prosecutor sitting there trying to, well, she's trying to argue with the fucking Supreme Court. Like they don't know what they talking about. She's trying to argue with the Supreme Court like they don't know what they talking about. The whole time they getting dead on her ass. It's gonna be all right. The Supreme Court got killed. Trust me. Watch this, y'all. Let me get it to it. Let me get to it. The Supreme Court got killed. They finna get in her ass, y'all.
Rationale for introducing the testimony of the 3 uncharged victims. The testimony of Young, Dunning, and Wolf, as Justice Burke found, was directly probative of defendant's state of mind. Why wasn't that accomplished with the 3 women who were?
So when the Supreme Court asked why did they bring in the 3 uncharged acts, the woman tried to explain why they did. She said, why wasn't that accomplished? Why wasn't y'all able to accomplish the charges, like convincing the jurors with the people that y'all had the charges for with? Why didn't the 3 people that y'all had the charges with, why wasn't they convincing enough to convince the jury that y'all had to bring in 3 uncharged act witnesses? See, the Supreme Court not gonna play.
Complainants. I mean, that for me is the problem. You already have 3 women who give you 3 different types of stories of the horrors they experienced with him. I think you've covered that. So to pile on with 3 uncharged complainants, 3 uncharged victims, is leaning really close to that propensity line. It was relevant to defendant's intent. As Your Honor pointed out, intent was hotly contested below. I don't understand how that wasn't established through Mann. Because I had a 5-year relationship with him after the assault. Because Mann's allegations were not so unambiguous that there would have been no doubt in the juror's mind that defendant intended the forcible element of the first-degree rape. Again, when Justice Murphy,
you're saying that you wanted to prove what he did with Mann by introducing the testimony of those other 3 women.
No, certainly not. Mann's allegations would have established, if believed, would have established the elements of the offense.
Where the women were of the uncharged crimes were not the victims for which were being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molyneux? This is incredible.
You hear what the Supreme Court just said? The women of the uncharged crime was not the women that he was being prosecuted for. So what the Supreme Court is telling this woman, the prosecutor, is if he's not being charged for these 3 women that y'all brung in as witnesses, they shouldn't have never even been on the stand as witnesses. What the Supreme Court is telling this prosecutor, wherever she is, if those 3 women wasn't a part of the charges, they shouldn't even been a part of the case. They shouldn't even been able to take the stand. Pretty much is what the Supreme Court is telling. Coretta said, y'all have no idea how these cases have impacted my life. My uncle died and he was a law judge of the United States of the country. Cases for this country, I find this to be unlawful. Very, very unlawful. She said Jennifer Baldini is going to rebuttal the government foolish motion and drop some more heat on them. Jennifer dropped the motion last night and say she's back. Coretta said, I also find it disgraceful for one man to be charged and convicted for something he did not. He did even do. Sorry, my tears are falling. It's gonna be okay, Miss Coretta. So now the Supreme Court calling them out on these 3 uncharged acts that they brung in that said that they was abused. So they brung in 3 women who said that they were abused by this man. Yet those 3 women he was not on trial for. So with that being said, they violated. Let's go back. Let's get it, man.
Not the victims for which were being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molyneux? This is incredibly prejudicial testimony, no?
Well, no, respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial for 2 reasons. One, the court gave extensive limiting instructions. 3 times the court explained to the jury.
The fact that there's instructions doesn't mean it's not prejudicial.
But here we know it wasn't.
Look, she said that the court gave litigated instructions, right? She said, so she tried to justify that it wasn't, that by the courts giving litigation, that it wasn't presidential. The Supreme Court told it just because they give, what they say, doesn't mean that what y'all done wasn't presidential. It was very. That's why they brought those uncharged acts in.
With 3 rapes, and here come 3 other women who claim I did the same thing to them, but I'm not being charged with that. That's prejudicial. Well, it's not.
So now the Supreme Court, now y'all listen now. Now listen now. The Supreme Court is finna tell y'all what it means to be presidential. Now listen at the Supreme Court give y'all their definition of the courts being presidential. Now let's go back. Now y'all listen close now. Listen close. Listen close.
3 rapes, and here comes 3 other.
Hold on. Supreme Court finna tell y'all. Listen close now. Listen very close, y'all.
The instructions 3 times the court explained to the jury. The fact that there's instructions doesn't mean it's not prejudicial. But here we know it wasn't. Charged with 3 rapes, and here come 3 other women who claim I did the same thing to them, but I'm not being charged with that. That's prejudicial. Well,
okay. She say, now this is Supreme Court telling her this. The Supreme Court say, if I'm being charged with 3 rapes, then here come y'all prosecutors bringing in 3 other women who's claiming that I raped them, but I'm not being charged for it, is what you call presidential. The Supreme Court just explained it. Now y'all think back to Kel's case. What did we hear during Kel's trial? What did we hear during Kel's case? What did we hear during reading those transcripts? Now y'all just heard the Supreme Court definition of presidential. Y'all, let's play it back again now. So this is very important. That's very important.
We're being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molyneux? This was incredibly prejudicial testimony, no?
Well, no, respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial for 2 reasons. One, the court gave extensive limiting instructions. 3 times the court explained to the jury. The fact that there's instructions doesn't mean it's not prejudicial. But here we know it wasn't. Charged with 3 rapes, and here come 3 other women who claim I did the same thing to them, but I'm not being charged with that. That's prejudicial. Well, it's not prejudicial. So the question is, does that prejudice, is that outweighed by some probative value that supersedes that? Respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial here, and we know that. Opposing counsel referred to the Molyneux rulings in this case as unprecedented. What cases do you rely on under New York law that actually constitute precedent for the court's rulings in this case on the Molyneux issues? Well, parsing the Molyneux evidence, no one would quibble with the admissibility of the uncharged offenses as to man. Ample case law, I'm talking about the other 3. Right. As to Young, Dunning, and Wolf, again, I think Vargas is a perfect illustration of precisely why we were permitted to put forth the evidence here. It's well understood that Molyneux evidence can shed light on the defendant's state of mind and intent. You're really arguing that this was not overkill?
Hey, do y'all hear the Supreme Court? Now, don't the Supreme Court sound like Ann Donnelly now, right? The Supreme Court told his prosecutor, are you really trying to argue that this wasn't overkill? Are y'all, the Supreme Court talking to the prosecution, like, are y'all really trying to argue that what y'all did wasn't overkill? Man, look here, bro. The Supreme Court bad motherfucker. Look, hey, the Supreme Court bad motherfucker, man. I'm telling you, man. The Supreme Court a bad mofo, man. I'm telling y'all, bro. Listen to how they breaking this man. Listen to how they breaking her down. See, she ain't got no help in there. She ain't here by herself. She ain't got no help. And look at all these Supreme Court judges all the way around. All the way around. All of them. All of them. All these Supreme Court judges all the way around. Supreme. And then there's her in the middle. What that remind y'all of? Man, look, you laugh now, you gonna cry later. I promise you, y'all. I promise you that. I promise you that. What up, man, Jay? Man, look at her, man. Watch this. Let's go back.
Molyneux evidence, no one would quibble with the admissibility of the uncharged offenses as to man. Ample case law, I'm talking about the other 3. Right. As to Young, Dunning, and Wolf, again, I think Vargas is a perfect illustration of precisely why we were permitted to put forth the evidence here. It's well understood that Molyneux evidence can shed light on the defendant's state of mind and intent. You're really arguing that this was not overkill?
There were certain items in the Sandoval that I thought, okay, that's fair game. If you, after being fired, ask an employee at the company to take computers and delete stuff, that's fair game. But some of this other stuff, let's inflame the jury's heart by telling them that he beat up his brother during a meeting. I don't see how the...
So what the Supreme Court called is inflaming the jurors' hearts by telling them about uncharged acts that took place that has nothing to do with what the person is being prosecuted for. If the person is not being prosecuted for these uncharged acts, the Supreme Court said, well, maybe you can bring some stuff in, but some stuff is just overkill. Some stuff is just overkill. And the Supreme Court is breaking it. This woman is she's trying to keep her back off the wall, but she can't do nothing with the Supreme Court. It's one her and 5 or 6 of them.
There is a balance there on that.
Well, threatening behavior, again, goes directly to demonstrating his ability to put his own self-interest at the expense of others, and that goes to the heart of honesty and integrity. The fact that there were many of these acts only indicated how defendant chose to live his life.
Yes, and counsel, you know what? There are trials every day where we have defendants who have a rap sheet a mile long. A mile long. They'll have 20 felony convictions on their rap sheet. And I see no judge say, go ahead, go to town on all of them, because they don't let you go into the facts.
You hear what she said? She said, we see this all the time. People come in with rap sheets that's a mile long. She said, no federal judges allow people to bring in all of a person's past. She said they are not allowed to bring in all of a person's past. They will probably let them go back a year or maybe 2, but not a 20-year long rap sheet. No, you can't go all the way back like that. This is the Supreme Court. We have a chance to see how the Supreme Court operate, because we already see how Ann Donnelly operate. We know how Ann Donnelly operate. So now we seeing how the Supreme Court operate. When the Supreme Court operate, guess what? That means the federal prosecutors, they're gonna have to have answers. They're gonna have to have evidence. They're gonna have to produce evidence to some of these claims that they are claiming within their motion of all these video depictions and this, that, and the third. They're going to have to show the proof. They're going to have to come with proof. And with last night, Jennifer dropped a motion last night, and she stated about getting forensic expert, authentication experts. So guess what? They might throw the case out, because now Jennifer talking about R. Kelly bringing forensic experts on the team, bringing authentication experts on the team, and guess what? That's what the prosecution in the federal government did not want R. Kelly to be able to afford. They didn't want R. Kelly to be able to afford specialists to be able to analyze this material that they are claiming to be his and from him and through him. And now Jennifer has stated in her motion last night that R. Kelly will be bringing forensics on and specialists on to go through some of this information that they have. So guess what? The federal prosecution, they have to figure out another fucking strategy, because yes, R. Kelly haven't been able to bring on specialists to help him with his case and go through some of the stuff and go through some of this paperwork and evidence. But guess what? Jennifer Bourgean told him last night in the motion that, hey, he's planning on bringing on some specialists to be able to go through some of this information to be able to verify some of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to go down, most definitely. Let's finish listening to what the Supreme Court got to tell this wanks right here.
They don't let you go into the facts. They usually just let one or two in. I mean, there is a balance. But looking at what was let in relation.
And you keep hearing, y'all just listen. The Supreme Court was steady reminding the prosecutor, whoever this woman is, that there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. There was no way, shape, form, or fashion was it a balance in this R. Kelly trial. You had 50 government witnesses versus 5 defendant people, 5 people who come and took the stand on R. Kelly's side. There's no balance. It has to be a balance. This is what the Supreme Court is telling these people. This is why we should be confident in the Supreme Court.
To its impact on whether the jury could otherwise decide the case, not based on the fact that this is just a horrible person. That's really the balance, not what was let out.
That's correct, and perhaps if this involved a case that had 100 or 150 allegations, it would present a different scenario.
30 non-convicted, and they're not convictions, not one of them, acts. That's balance.
Well, as you point out, the fact that they're not convictions, that they're just bad acts, if anything, makes them less prejudicial.
Now, they talking about the non-conviction bad acts that were allowed that shouldn't have been allowed. This is why the Supreme Court is telling them that it was overkill. What they did was overkill. This is why. Listen, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer.
Decide the case not based on the fact that this is just a horrible person. That's really the balance, not what was let out.
That's correct, and perhaps if this involved a case that had 100 or 150 allegations, it would present a different scenario.
30 non-convicted, and they're not convictions, not one of them, acts.
They had 30 they presented 30 non-conviction acts to the jurors. These prosecutors presented 30 non-conviction acts to the jurors. And the Supreme Court is not liking it. So how many acts did they present to R. Kelly's jury? Man, look, the Supreme Court ain't playing. The Supreme Court not gonna play.
That's really the balance, not what was let out.
That's correct, and perhaps if this involved a case that had 100 or 150 allegations, it would present a different scenario.
30 non-convicted, and they're not convictions, not one of them, acts. That's balance.
Well, as you point out, the fact that they're not convictions, that they're just bad acts, if anything, makes them less prejudicial. But the fact that there were so many is only indicative of how defendants. Just bad acts, if anything, makes them less prejudicial. But the fact that there were so many is only indicative of how defendant lived his life. The court was not required to unduly sentence.
That's the point. You're saying this is just him. He's a bad guy. There's a lot of acts because he's just bad. So, to say it's indicative of how he lived his life, he doesn't get convicted because he's a bad guy. He gets convicted for these particular crimes.
You just heard that now. That was important right there. Now listen to what the Supreme Court tell this woman. The prosecutor said, he's a bad guy because he had so many bad act, things. He participated in so many bad acts, but he was never convicted for those bad acts. But the Supreme Court tells this woman, but he's not being prosecuted for those bad acts. So how can you bring those acts into the jurors?
This clip was captured from.
Listen.
Just bad acts, if anything, makes them less prejudicial. But the fact that there were so many is only indicative of how defendant lived his life. The court was not required to unduly sentence.
That's the point. You're saying this is just him. He's a bad guy. There's a lot of acts because he's just bad. So, to say it's indicative of how he lived his life, he doesn't get convicted because he's a bad guy. He gets convicted for these particular crimes.
This clip
say he doesn't get convicted because he's a bad guy. He only get convicted because of the crimes that he's being prosecuted for. You can't bring up a person past and try to say, well, just because he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that, when he's going to court, for something totally different than what you're alleging these crimes was, and say, well, he's a bad person. No, he's only being convicted for what he's being prosecuted for. So the Supreme Court, man, is going to have a field day. I feel the Supreme Court is going to have a field day with these prosecutors, man. Like I said, man, shout out to HN News, man. This was one of the best, one of the better videos that I've seen, lately here. Very informational, very informative. If y'all haven't already got over to HN News, what you say, get over there and watch this video that they put up today, and you can see the actual content of this video of the Supreme Court giving it to this prosecutor. Man, I mean, they was giving it to her, telling her how it is. But like I say, if y'all been here, y'all been rocking, y'all know what's been going on. We've been seeing what's been going on. So with these uncharged acts and the federal prosecutors in this R. Kelly trial, these people having 45 witnesses, 45 witnesses coming up. They had 50 people take the stand against one man. 50 people take the stand against one man. All of these uncharged acts, all of these women talking about their relationship had no jurisdiction in the court. Their relationships with R. Kelly had no reason in the courts if he wasn't being prosecuted for those relationships. By them bringing those relationships, they like the Supreme Court say, they put a fire in the hearts of the jurors by introducing those bad, letting people come up and talk about those bad relationships. Talk about how he did them, how he treated them, this, that, and third. The Supreme Court say, if he's not being charged with this, where is the balance? Where is the balance? If he's not being charged for these alleged crimes that these witnesses are saying he committed against them, where is the balance? Where is the balance? There was no balance in R. Kelly's trial. There was no balance at all. The judge allowed the federal prosecutors to do and have their way in whatever they said. She allowed them to just let it be. Hidden Jewels, what's up? What's up? Most definitely, they're not convicting the real criminals. They are letting them go. Exactly. So we see that, man. If y'all want to see that video that I just played, HN News, WYS, HN News, what you say, that's the channel that I went on and got that video from. Y'all can go and watch it yourself and kind of get a feel for it. And I swear to God, if y'all was having doubt, if y'all was having any, if y'all like Miss Coretta, this video seeing the Supreme Court deal with these people the way that they dealing with them, it should give you hope, because we all know how R. Kelly trial went. We all saw the biasness from the prosecutors to the judge to the jury selection, so on and so forth. We saw it all. So we know when this case goes to the Supreme Court is going to weave through this shit like it ain't nothing. It was 5 to 6 Supreme Court judges sitting there while that one prosecutor was sitting there trying to explain the bullshit that they presented to present it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is on their ass about, right, they can't charge them. And this is what the Supreme Court is telling them. like, I'm gonna go back, you know, a little bit. Supreme Court is telling them that. Supreme Court is telling them you can't charge him because this is how y'all feel or this is what y'all want to feel. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. Hold on. I mean,
I wasn't that accomplished with the three women who were complainants.
So the Supreme Court is asking this woman, why was
a defendant's state of mind?
I wasn't that accomplished with the three women who were complainants. I mean, that for me is the problem. You already have three women who give you three different types of stories of the horrors they allege they experienced with him. I think you've covered that.
She said, y'all already had three women, three different stories of the alleged horrors that they had to deal with whoever this guy was that they were prosecuting. The Supreme Court is telling the prosecutor, y'all already had three women who he's being charged for, who testified to have went through such bad times in their relationship with this guy. Why did y'all need an additional three women that he was not even being charged for? Listen at the Supreme Court, man. They not playing with this wench.
Probative of defendant's state of mind.
I wasn't that accomplished with the three women who were complainants. I mean, that for me is the problem. You already have three women who give you three different types of stories of the horrors they allege they experienced with him. I think you've covered that. So to pile on with three uncharged complainants, three uncharged victims is leaning really close to that propensity line.
It was relevant to defendant's intent. As Your Honor pointed out, intent was hotly contested below.
I don't understand how that wasn't established through Mann. Because I had a 5-year relationship with him after the assault.
Because Mann's allegations were not so unambiguous that there would have been no doubt in a juror's mind that defendant intended the forcible element of the first-degree rape. Again, when Justice Murphy,
you're saying that you wanted to prove what he did with Mann by introducing the testimony of those other few women.
No, certainly not. Mann's allegations would have established, if believed, would have established the elements of the offense.
Where the women were the uncharged crimes were not the victims for which were being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molino? This is incredibly prejudicial testimony.
Oh, did y'all hear what the Supreme Court told this woman? Those three uncharged women was listen, man. Listen what the Supreme Court tell her about the uncharged testimonies of these other three women that they brung in. And we know it was over 40 witnesses in R.Kelly case of uncharged acts that they claim he either coerced or did. Over 40, man. Listen at this, man.
It was relevant to defendant's intent. As Your Honor pointed out, intent was hotly contested below.
I don't understand how that wasn't established through Mann. Because I had a 5-year relationship with him after the assault.
Because Mann's allegations were not so unambiguous that there would have been no doubt in the juror's mind that defendant intended the forcible element of the first-degree rape. Again, when Justice Murphy,
you're saying that you wanted to prove what he did with Mann by introducing the testimony of those other few women.
No, certainly not. Mann's allegations would have established, if believed, would have established the elements of the offense.
Where the women were the uncharged crimes were not the victims for which were being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molino? This is incredibly prejudicial testimony, no?
Well, no, respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial for two reasons. One, the court gave extensive limiting instructions. 3 times the court explained to the jury.
The fact that there's instructions doesn't mean it's not prejudicial.
But here we know it wasn't.
Charged with 3 rapes.
Do y'all hear? Do y'all hear her? Sounding like a kid that asked their parent for a snack and their mom say no. But mom, I did it. No, you get your ass in the room. Get your ass in the room. Supreme Court putting their ass in the room. Boy, this right here, this is so exactly.
Times we're not the victims for which we're being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molyneux? This was incredibly prejudicial testimony, no?
Well, no, respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial for 2 reasons. One, the court gave extensive limiting instructions. 3 times the court explained to the jury.
The fact that there's instructions doesn't mean it's not prejudicial.
But here we know it wasn't.
Charged with 3 rapes. And here come 3 other women who claim I did the same thing to them, but I'm not being charged with that. That's prejudicial.
Well, it's not.
So do y'all hear what presidential is, man? Presidential. I can't say that word thoroughly, but y'all hear the example, the way that the Supreme Court see presidential. In the Supreme Court eyes, what it is. So do y'all agree? Can we all agree to this point that the R.Kelly case was very presidential?
Times we're not the victims for which we're being prosecuted, though. Where was the balancing that's supposed to go on in Molyneux? This was incredibly prejudicial testimony, no?
Well, no, respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial for 2 reasons. One, the court gave extensive limiting instructions. 3 times the court explained to the jury.
The fact that there's instructions doesn't mean it's not prejudicial.
But here we know it wasn't.
Charged with 3 rapes. And here come 3 other women who claim I did the same thing to them, but I'm not being charged with that. That's prejudicial.
Well, it's not prejudicial.
So the question is, does that prejudice, is that outweighed by some probative value that supersedes that?
Respectfully, Your Honor, it wasn't prejudicial here, and we know that.
Opposing counsel referred to the Molyneux rulings in this case as unprecedented. What cases do you rely on under New York law that actually constitute precedent for the court's rulings in this case on the Molyneux issues?
Well, parsing the Molyneux evidence, no one would quibble with the admissibility of the uncharged offenses as to man. Ample case law, which
I'm talking about the other 3.
Right. As to Young, Gunning, and Wolf, again, I think Vargas is a perfect illustration of precisely why we were permitted to put forth the evidence here. It's well understood that Molyneux evidence can shed light on a defendant's state of mind and intent.
Tomorrow, I'm not sure what the actual document was, but I got the video. The video is on where this little clip is in HN News WYS. HN News WYS. And they had this clip in their video, and I don't know where they got the actual clip from in detail, but they put this part in their commentary. And I was like, wow, like it was so like it stood out so much because, like I say, like for people who know what's been going on with this R. Kelly case and who has been following this case, we see what the Supreme Court is looking for. We hear what the Supreme Court is asking, and all we have to do is just think back to what we've watched. What did we watch during that trial? What did we see during that trial? Yeah, her day is a number. Yeah, she better get ready.
Arguing that this was not overkill. I mean, there were certain items in the Sandoval that I thought, okay, that's fair game. If you, after being fired, ask an employee at the company to take computers and delete stuff, that's fair game. But some of this other stuff, let's inflame the jury's heart by telling them that he beat up his brother during a meeting.
what the Supreme Court called this overkill is inflaming the jurors' hearts. Inflaming the jurors' heart. So what the fuck y'all think out of 50 people who took the stand against R. Kelly, what did that do to the jurors' hearts? Nobody had one good thing to say about this man. There was not one good thing said about this man. There was not one positive thing said about this man out of 50 people that took the stand. 50 people take the stand. Not one word positive said about this man. So y'all don't think that inflamed the jurors' hearts? Even though we know the jurors from Jennifer's motion, the jurors was all fucking corrupt. All the jurors, 10 out of the 12 jurors had already seen Surviving R. Kelly, had watched and heard about R. Kelly, knew something pertaining to R. Kelly. So his jury, he's supposed to have a jury of his peers, but all these jurors was biased as fuck. The jurors wanted an autograph from Gloria Allred. One of the jurors was a police. One of the jurors came from the office of the prosecutors. How is that a jury of your peers? We trying to make sense of this. Not I'm trying to make sense of it. We trying to make sense of it. But I tell you what, federal prosecutors, it ain't no fun when the goddamn rabbit got the gun. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Y'all see it. Y'all see it for yourself. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You see all them Supreme Court judges sitting around that round table and that one prosecutor sitting in the middle, right? That one prosecutor sitting in the middle sound like she want to cry. Sound like she wanted to cry. The Supreme Court asked her, are you trying to argue that this wasn't presidential? Are you trying to argue that? You got a man that's being charged for 3 crimes. Then you bring in 3 uncharged crimes who claiming that he had done the same thing but hadn't been charged for it. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. See, sometimes you bite off more than you can handle. They should have left the goddamn man alone, man. They went too far. And I'm telling y'all, why the prosecutors and the federal government did what they did. They wasn't expecting anyone to help this man. They stripped him of all his money. They stripped him of his passport. They stripped him of his music. They stripped him of everything that he had to benefit himself and made him fight this case without nothing to fight it with. They stripped this man of every fucking thing and expected him to fight this goddamn powerhouse that they have that's being supported by the record labels, that's being supported by the Me Too movement, that's being supported by all these different groups and organizations out here. They wanted this man to go up against a machine when he didn't even have nothing to defend himself. Well, they thought he didn't have nothing to defend himself. He had the almighty defense that you can have. He had God on his side. The man had God, he had faith, and he had belief. And he kept prayer, and he kept believing in his prayer. See, I'm telling y'all something. These people that handle R. Kelly case, they wasn't expecting him to be able to fight back. Excuse me. They wasn't expecting him to be able to fight back. That's why they wanted to shut down the money. That's why they wanted to freeze the bank accounts. That's why they wanted to do everything they did was by design. Everything the federal government did to R. Kelly was by design. They tried to leave him defenseless. And to a point, they did. And to a point, they did leave him defenseless. They froze his accounts. They took all his money. Look at all these people getting these settlements. They just going to court winning settlements, $4 million, $2 million. The studio owner got some millions of dollars for a piece of shit ass building that wasn't even worth $100,000. You see what they did? We see the federal government. We see what y'all did. Y'all stripped this man butt ass naked and expected him to be able to defend himself against y'all. But what the federal government don't know is that this man has a spiritual belief. What the federal government didn't know that R. Kelly is very spiritual. The federal government didn't know that R. Kelly believes in God. The federal government didn't know that God sit high and look low. You know what I'm saying? The federal government forgot that when God tell you that he will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. Yeah, we understand that weeping may endure for a night, but joy forthcome in the morning. All R. Kelly had to do was sit there and be patient. All you got to do is be patient and stay grounded. Be patient. If you want to know if God real, when you going through something, just be patient. If you want to test God and see if he's real, all you have to do is be patient. We've seen R. Kelly be patient for 3 years. Goddamn, forgive me for swearing. We've seen this man be patient his whole life. We've seen this brother be patient his whole life, yet alone his 30-year career. Ain't none of us perfect. Ain't none of us perfect by a long shot. But we all have sin. But who am I to judge? Who are they to judge? There's only one judge. When we try to get to those gates, we're gonna be judged by ourselves. Just like when we go on the ground in a casket by ourselves. The federal government, they played the right game, but they had the wrong nigga. Right game, wrong nigga, federal judge. Y'all didn't think that. And I tell y'all, with that motion that Ann Donnelly put in, not Ann Donnelly, the motion that Jennifer filed last night, this might not even go to the Supreme Court. Because Jennifer told Ann Donnelly and she told the prosecutors that we're hiring forensic specialists to come in and do some analyzing and go through some of this evidence or whatever y'all proclaim it to have. So guess what? If R. Kelly is bringing on specialists, that means the federal government got to produce some evidence. If R. Kelly is bringing on specialists, that means the federal government, therefore, they have to produce this evidence that they're claiming they have, that they haven't presented to the courts yet. They say they got this, but they haven't presented nothing. But Ann Donnelly are allowing them to claim to have evidence and not present it and be okay with it. But Ann Donnelly, guess what? Your time is coming too. Your time is coming. All you gotta do is wait to be patient. All you gotta do is wait to be patient. See, Jennifer is a smart woman. She told him R. Kelly's he's bringing in specialists in forensics for a reason. The motherfuckers finna have to show their hand. They finna have to show their hand. Now we gonna know the truth. They gonna tell the truth now, or we don't have any documents to back those allegations. Now we finna know the truth. Now Jennifer say we finna bring in specialists in forensics. Now we finna hear the truth. They don't have any documentation to back up those allegations that they're proclaiming. Telling y'all something, this is always chess, not checkers. Man, look here, boy. I'm gonna have to get off of here, man, because I done got going. I done got going. And when I get to going like this, man, it could be we could be in for a long night. We could be in for a long night. You know, we could be in for a long night. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. They will feel the wrath of God. Most definitely. You don't play with his. You don't play with God's children. You can play with a lot of shit in life, but you don't play with God's people, man. You don't play with God's people. I'm telling you, man. God said all you gotta do is have the faith of a mustard seed. If y'all don't know what a mustard seed is, Google it. The faith, we just gotta have faith the size of a mustard seed. That's it. That's it. The Supreme Court is not gonna play. R.Kelly, the Supreme Court is on the way. But the way that it's looking, the Supreme Court may not even get this. Jennifer is embarrassing them enough by herself. I don't even want to see this go to the Supreme Court for the sake of the prosecutors, because they're really going to get made to be look stupid as hell. If y'all see how they tearing this woman ass up, we see how they tearing this woman up. She's stumbling on a word. She can't get shit out of her mouth. All type of shit. But I tell y'all, the Supreme Court is not gonna play. Y'all see they not playing. Y'all bring in all these uncharged acts to have them give testimony and testify. If the Supreme Court told this woman, if he's not being prosecuted for those acts that they're talking about, they shouldn't have even been allowed in the court. Then said one of the women that he is being prosecuted for, he was charged with raping this woman, but they had, after she made the allegation, they had a 5-year relationship after the fact. They was in a 5-year relationship after the fact of her claiming that he raped her. See, the Supreme Court is not going to leave no stone unturned. The Supreme Court is not going to leave no stone unturned. None. Most definitely knew it was unfair. Miss Virgo, hey, love yourself. What's up? Yeah. See, and Donnelly and the prosecutors, man, they stripped this man. They did everything they did to R. Kelly. They did it intentionally. They came in with a plan to do him the way that they did. They already knew what they had to do. They knew they had to strip him of everything. They tried to leave him defenseless. They wasn't expecting nobody to come to their side because they have so many people afraid of the cancel culture. People don't want to get blackballed. People don't want to get canceled. So they're afraid to come out and help defend a brother who's being innocent, who's being treated unjust. So they know with the Me Too movement, the Time's Up movement, all these people, if somebody come out and stand up for R. Kelly, then they go send their people over there and counsel them people. They show up to them people shows, counsel that. So what they wanted to put fear. So pretty much the prosecutors, Ann Donnelly, Time's Up, Me Too, all these people, they ain't nothing but bullies, man. These are bully organizations. They terrorist organizations. But they can go up against anybody. Me Too, the federal government, Ann Donnelly, they can go up against anybody. But you will never defeat God. You will never defeat God. Never. Never. And that's one thing Brother R. Kelly kept on his side. He believed. He kept believing in God. He knew his innocence. And this fool over there, Tim Savage, talking about R. Kelly need to speak. Why do R. Kelly got to speak? Because you want him to speak. You need to shut the fuck up. Tim Savage. You talking about another man need to speak. How about you shut the fuck up? See, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. Your daughter has nothing. This is about these uncharged acts, right? See, that was the Supreme Court talks about. Tim Savage, your daughter have no dog in this fight. Why the fuck is you up here demanding this man to talk? You ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. No drunk ass wife of yours, y'all ain't nobody. Y'all are unfit parents, man. Y'all are unfit parents. Tim, you talk about your daughter underneath her clothes to the public, all because you want your million. All I wanted my million, and R.Kelly got him a wife for life. All I wanted my million, and R.Kelly got him a wife for life. Well, all your daughter want is for you to stay the fuck away from her. Simple as that. No man should never talk about his daughter underneath her clothes. Just because you don't like just because you don't like her choice of dealing with a man that's almost the age of you or your age, just because you don't like your kids' decisions when they're 18 years old, they're grown. Sometimes we as kids, we have to learn the hard way. We all got to bump our heads someday. We all got to bump our head. We all got to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Mama know best. Daddy know best. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean we know. Sometimes we gotta see to believe. We're dealing with a whole different generation of people, man. A whole different breed of people. We have to see to believe. We can listen at you tell us all day long. Don't do this, don't do that, don't go here, don't go there. But guess what? Sometimes we just want to test the water. We just want to test the water a little bit sometimes. So, Tim, for you sitting up here talking about R.Kelly need to talk, R.Kelly don't need to talk because you want him to talk. How about you shut the fuck up? You and your drunk ass wife. R.Kelly understand one thing. You had a right to remain silent because anything you do or say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Therefore, we just saw in Jennifer's motion last night, when Jennifer dropped her motion, she said if R.Kelly goes to pre-trial sentencing, if he go to trial sentencing, it's going to conflict with his Chicago case and violate his Fifth Amendment right. Because anything that he say in his sentencing here can be used against him in the court of law. So why do R.Kelly need to speak? How about all these motherfuckers who done stole and took from this man? How about they speak up? How about they come and say, well, Rob, here go your 5 million. Rob, here go your 20 million. Rob, here go your 50 million. Rob, here go your 100 million. Give him his money back. How about those people who'd have done him wrong? Speak up and speak out. You know, oh yeah, I let her in R.Kelly house to take pictures, and we use it to set him up and file a lawsuit. Yeah, and Geronda gave me $4,000 off the settlement. How about those people step up and speak out? Tim, you need to sit your little ass down, boy. You need to sit down somewhere for somebody to tighten your ass up, man. Seriously, man. Seriously. You want to run around here like you a gangster. It's savage. You ain't no goddamn savage. You fucking peanut ass nigga. The hell wrong with y'all? R.Kelly, remain quiet. Even when you become free, remain quiet. R.Kelly, I ask you, put out a record like Pootie Tang when you get out. Just a whole 5 minutes of straight silence. Just a whole 5 minutes of straight silence. We're going to call you the new Pootie Tang. When you come out, make a record for 5 minutes, just straight silence. Don't say shit. Just to piss Tim little ass off. Sitting in that goddamn high chair on his live like he's somebody. You little motherfucking, oh man, boy, I can't. If I knew Tim or saw Tim, I'd slap the dog piss out of him, man. R.Kelly need to speak. The hell wrong with y'all? You sitting up here worried about other people getting cash apps off R. Kelly. Nigga, y'all living off y'all daughter relationship with R. Kelly. You and your wife living off R. Kelly relationship with your daughter. Going around doing press conferences, TMZ, all these people. Y'all living off y'all daughter relationship with R. Kelly. But y'all want to talk about other people using R. Kelly. Y'all are some fucking hypocrites, man. I just don't get it, bro. When will it stop? Every time a motion drop, Tim got his hot bopping ass up somewhere, fresh Jerry curl, just for me kid wearing ass on live talking shit. Then you try to talk all, yeah, man, me and my wife. Man, you just for saying fuck your wife on Toxic Diamond recording. You asking Toxic, can you come get in the shower with her with your little ass? That woman ain't got time for no baby. She got her own kids probably. She can bath. Woman ain't finna be dealing with your little ass. Hell wrong with you, boy. You know, you sit here and disrespect the shit out your daughter. You disrespect your wife, but now you got the best marriage on YouTube, right? Once you leave a savage, ain't no going back. You know how a savage is. I already called my brothers and told them it's over with. But you still with her drunk ass. Man, y'all got the right one. 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 I promise y'all got the right one. Nigga, I ain't gonna play. I'm gonna keep it straight 100. And I'm gonna tell it how it is. The fuck? Why R. Kelly gotta speak to satisfy your little ass? Shit. Man, I enjoyed y'all being over here, man. I promise I do. But I gotta get out, man, because I continue to go in and 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 go in on these people, man. And I'm really not trying to continue to go in on them like that. I want y'all to go over to hold on, let me show y'all the channel, man. Let me show y'all the channel where y'all can go over and watch that live that I was telling y'all about. That's the channel right there. HN Newsroom. That's the channel. Y'all can go and that's the video. That's the video right there. HN Newsroom. Go right there and y'all can check out that video and check out that clip that I was playing is in that video right there. Yeah, Tim need to go sit his hot jackrabbit ass down somewhere. Talking about R. Kelly need to speak up and you trying to see your daughter. You ain't trying to see your daughter. Because if you were trying to see your daughter, you wouldn't have came out and talked about your daughter underneath her clothes, man. I'm telling you this, man to man, from father to a father. I'm a young father, you're an older father. But man, that's your daughter, man. You should have never came out and spoke on your daughter underneath her clothes, bro. That's just disrespect, man. I would never respect a man, and most definitely I would never respect you, bro, because that's the most ultimate disrespect. Everybody know a young lady, her first love of her life is her father. And for her father to talk about her in a degrading way, the way that you talked about your daughter, all because you was trying to get your million, all because you wanted your million. You know what I'm saying? Your million got you fucked up for life. Since you want to talk about R. Kelly got a wife for life, now you done lost a daughter for life, you stupid motherfucker. That's what happened to your million. You know, you let your millions get in the way of your relationship with your daughter, bro. And you disrespected that young lady, man. Something you should have never done. and your wife is a damn fool for still being with your stupid ass and allowing you to disrespect y'all daughter the way that you did. But that shows what ain't no telling what you just said about your wife. You already say you didn't want her drunk ass. Ain't no telling how you talk about her when you offline. Ain't no telling what you saying to other people about your wife. Because as a wife, and if it was me, I ain't no woman can never be. But your wife should have left your ass when you was talking about her goddamn daughter like that. But she just as greedy as you. With that goddamn Five Below wig on her goddamn head. She's coming on there acting like she's somebody. Man, look here, bro. I done had it up to here, man. I done had it up to here. I done had it up to here. And don't get me started on Rob said. And don't get me started on Rob said. Don, don't get me started on Rob said. Rob did. Rob asked. Rob told me. Fucking build about. Rob said. Rob did. Rob asked. Rob told me. Boy, look here. Man, I dry these goddamn people all day. I roast these goddamn people all day. Man, look here, bro. Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for coming, man. I'm about to get off. Free Scales, man. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Bill and his team. Shout out to Jennifer and his team. Shout out to all the supporters who are out here supporting in a positive way, doing positive things, keeping the name alive, keeping the case alive, you know, spreading the message, spreading the word to the world to let them know they need to look further into this case than what the media perpetuated, you know. So shout out to all the fans, man. Shout out to all the supporters who, like I say, shout out to all the supporters who's out here supporting in a positive way, helping keep this brother name alive, man. Shout out to all the bloggers, man, all the blogger channels that's out here speaking positive of the brother Kells and doing things in a positive manner, moving in a positive direction. You know, shout out to me, shout out to God first, though. Shout out to God above all, because without God, there's no us. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all need God in order to navigate throughout these wicked streets of the world that we're living in now in the last days. So, you know, make sure y'all keeping God first. We're gonna pray. We praying. We gonna pray that this case get thrown out. We're going to continue to pray for them to just throw this case out. But if in will, this case make it to the Supreme Court, y'all better get y'all some tissue and some napkins, because y'all going to be laughing. And don't drink too much water, because I don't want none of y'all pissing on y'allself, because the Supreme Court is going to make a fool out of these prosecutors, man. The Supreme Court is going to make a fool out of these prosecutors. Trust me. So y'all keep your tissue ready. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be going down in a major way. And with that being said, it's been great. It's your boy, Big Vi. God dang on opinion.
Ain't got no fancy car. Don't live a
boy. That's the good old boy. Let yesterday's failure be the motivation for you to succeed today. I am somebody. You are somebody. Stand for something, fall for anything. Make it count. Make it count. Remember, all things are possible through Christ who strengthens us. And I really love. Y'all be blessed.